Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, finally covering yesterday's spoilers, and they dropped like 50 of them at least, so I'm probably gonna have to split this up. So this is actually gonna be 3 days worth, kind of, because there was 4 extra ones on the 25th and just whatever. So let's start with Chatterstorm. It's just create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token storm. Now see, that could have just been X, which is why it's probably an appropriate use of Storm. It's actually harder than just putting X on it. So I thought this is a reprint. Apparently it's not. So, okay. I mean, still, this being a common, well, they got this frame of it for 79 cents, and they're valuing the regular one at 49 cents. So next up we got Draykeeper. It's a 5-cost elf druid, and when it enters battlefield, create 2 squirrels, and then pay 4 squirrels you control, get +1, and gain menace until end of turn. What a concept. A boost you have to pay for or you don't get it. What a more fair way of doing that than just... I don't know, +1/+1 because they're green. +1/+1 because they're squirrels. Oh, look, they're 7/7s. Boring, 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 typical tribal. Do something interesting with it. There we go, Draykeeper. Next up, Underworld Hermit. It's a 6-cost 3/3 human peasant. That's a fun type to have now. When he enters battlefield, create a number of 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens equal to your devotion to black. That's right, it's officially Gary's cousin, Jeff. I mean, how could his name not be Jeff? I mean, come on. I'm sure people are just going to call him Squirrel Gary after Grey Merchant, of course, but that's stupid. His name's Jeff. Moving on. We've got Chance Encounter. It's a 4-cost red enchantment. That's never good, but whenever you win a coin flip, put a luck counter on Chance Encounter. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if Chance Encounter has 10 or more luck counters on it, you win the game. Oh, goody. So it should take 20 coin flip attempts on average to win. May take less, may take a lot more. The problem is that's not that hard to do, especially with assistance. So in an all coin flip deck, this is just obnoxious. These alternate win cons, they need to stop with this crap. So moving on to the next day's spoilers, which I believe is yesterday, it's Vidalcan Infiltrator, which... why the hell do they all look creepy, not look, 7 feet tall and lanky with giant long fingers, and suddenly just all look like Voldemort? And also he doesn't look blue. Well, whoever drew this, they appear to go by some kind of nickname. I can't read it, it's too blurry, but yeah, I would too if I got it this wrong. So it's 2-drop 1/3, Vidalcan Artificer, and he can't be blocked. That always goes well. And then Metalcraft. He gets +1/+0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. And not worth it. Next up, okay, what even is this? You know the card Noble Hierarch, which is like really similar to this? This is Ignoble Hierarch, which apparently means not honorable in character or purpose. So, Wizards of the Coast, basically. They should call it Ignobles of the Coast. Oh, its secondary definition is of humble origin or social status, which they're a bunch of stuck-up rich assholes from Seattle, so I take that back. But anyway, if this attacks alone, it gets +1/+1, that's exalted, and then it just has a color shift, otherwise it's identical to Noble Hierarch. A Noble Hierarch is like a $50 card! Oh, oops, it was. Now it's down to $18 because they reprinted it to death. Fantastic. Jeez, even the Double Masters Borderless Alternate Art Box Topper, foil, by the way, is $30. Wow, this thing crashed. Well, your guess is as good as mine as to what this will launch at. Those don't look like very popular colors to me, but who knows. So next up we got Lonus, Cryptozoologist, a 2-cost 1/2 Snake Elf Scout, because of course it is, and legendary. Whenever another non-token creature enters battlefield under your control, investigate. That's always fun. And then tap it, sacrifice X clues, target opponent reveals the top X cards of their library. You may put a non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield under your control. That player puts the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. So whether it's you for reliability or them because you think they have a bigger permanent, that's pretty good ability, but boy, you get one shot at it and all your clues are burned. See, this is what you should have to do to earn a free casting, and then still it might backfire. I mean, this is how you do a free casting fairly, Wizards. Do this the rest of the time. Next up, Dragon's Rage Channeler, a 1/1 for 1, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, surveil 1, which is, of course, look at the top card of your library, you may put it into your graveyard. So it's like Grave Scry, which is what I would have called it, or Mega Scry. Then Delirium, as long as there are 4 or more types, or card types among cards in your own personal graveyard, not anybody else's. Dragon's Rage Channeler gets +2/+2, has flying, and attacks each combat if able. This is just a fun card. I love like 1 and 2 cost stuff that's like utterly useless up front, but then it might get bigger over time, or you can use level up or something, throw some mana at it, throw some time resources at it, and make it bigger. Without using, auras, because then it's just, 1 kill spell got rid of 2 cards, whoops. I pretty much like anything other than that within reason. Next up, Flay Essence. It's a 3-cost sorcery in black, exile target creature or planeswalker. You gain life equal to the number of counters on it. That is an insanely good spell. I can't believe they put that under uncommon, but I mean, for draft reasons, okay, but still. So this is a brand new, never before seen card. I'm not sure what like the tier list is for modern kill spells, but last I checked, Doomblade and Go for the Throat are pretty big. This is definitely better than Hero's Downfall. I don't know. I mean, this looks pretty good. It could hit a planeswalker or a creature, and you have a small, tiny little chance of gaining life. Now, here's the thing. Do they mean counters in the broad definition, or when they mean counters, do they mean shorthand for +1/+1 counters? I forget in this context what it means, but I do remember that they shouldn't have named regular counters that. Because, I mean, you'd be removing loyalty counters from a planeswalker. Just saying. I don't know. Have to wait for the card ruling, I guess. Next up, something that maybe sounds like Svayelan. Okay, God of Sea and Sky. Oh, you Thassa wannabe. So it's a 3-cost Merfolk God. Oh god, it's a Merfolk too. Just kill me now. And if you control 2 other Merfolks, whatever the hell her name is, has Indestructible. So, great. Already a 3/4 for 3, by the way. And when it attacks, draw a card. Now she really thinks she's Thassa. And then other Merfolk you control have Ward 1. Fantastic. I just cannot stand Merfolk in any format in any deck. So moving on, we've got Vectis Gloves. It's 2-cost equipment, equip 2, equip creature gets +2 attack and has Artifact Landwalk. If that doesn't tell you what's in this set. So the 5 existing artifact lands were banned from Modern. Let me just put that out there right now. If I'm not mistaken, they're banned from Standard too, actually. But before we get back into that, we've got whatever the hell this is. Flying Demon, I guess. 4-cost, star 3 artifact creature demon, and its power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. I do kind of like that because it's like you can't really get too out of control, and if you do, your opponent probably should have done something to stop you. But boy, is this thing going to be beast with flying. Next up, proving that this game is just a meme at this point, we've got Phantasmal Dreadmaw instead of Colossal Dreadmaw for the 15th time in a row. Oh, good. So it's a 6-cost, or a 4-cost 6/6 with trample. And when it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sack it. Great. So it's identical but blue and costs 2 less, and because of that, they make it die on targeting. Alright, I mean, yeah, that'll make it probably Pauper grade, maybe Modern grade. Next up, we got about 12 different translation errors, so I'm just going to do this on the fly. It's Errant Ghostlight, and it's a creature spirit. It has flying, it's a 2/2 for 3, by the way, and if you pay 3, another creature permanent gains the ability of flight until the end of turn. And then I assume that's supposed to be evoke. The translation is not, well, it's not correct, but it's also not what they said. Anyway, you pay X plus blue, discard this card, and then X amount of creatures that you control. Oh, actually, no, just X amount of creatures, period. So I guess you can make your opponent's creatures fly. That'd be fun. Windstorm them or something. They gain the ability to flight until the end of turn. So single target or, nuke this for its evoke cost and multi-target. Pretty nice. Next up, we got Shouty, a.k.a. General Ferris Rokirik, a.k.a. Rocky Rick from the morning show. Oh, this is in Portuguese. Well, shit, what's this supposed to be? Exactly the same. Well, ferrous in like every Latin-based language is magnetic, isn't it? It could be iron, I guess, by a stretch. It depends how you look at it. So, you know what? We're going with Generally Magnetic Rick. So, Generally Magnetic Rick is a 3-cost 3/1 legendary creature, human soldier, hexproof from monocolored. That's always fun. And whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 4/4 red and white golem artifact creature token. Holy shit. A 4/4 golem dumper, and all you need to do is cast a multicolored spell. Well, you got to build your whole deck around this guy, basically. But, I mean, and then if he was a commander, would he be worth it? Would the deck be any good? Absolutely not. I mean, Boros Boost Blitz Rush, I guess. Like, maybe a non-multiplayer commander. I don't know. That doesn't usually work with 40 life. So, yeah, this guy's interesting but kind of weak. Well, as far as like where you would put him, he's actually hyper strong. So next up, Soul Snare. It's a 1-cost enchantment, and you pay 1, sacrifice a Soul Snare, exile target creature that's attacking you or a planeswalker you control. So you can do that at instant speed, but you're not going to be surprising anyone because they can see this at a time. But the balance, or the trade-off, is this costs 1. And it's just a fun little threat because they never want to attack with anything then. This is going directly into my blue-white don't attack me deck because it's hilarious. I would prefer to blindside people, but for 1 damn mana, it's going in. Next up, Gaia's Will. It's a suspend sorcery. Oh good, green identifier, yeehaw. And until end of turn, you may play lands and cast spells from your graveyard. Holy crap. And then, very importantly, if a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, exile it instead. Because otherwise you could be like, oh, I'm going to cast Cultivate from my graveyard. Okay, now it's in my graveyard, I'm going to cast it from my graveyard. And then I'm going to cast it again. And then I'm going to cast it again. And then Adventurous Impulse 50 times. I could see that being problematic. It's a pretty darn strong card there. Next up we got Junkwinder. It's a 7-cost Serpent, 5/6. Affinity for tokens. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each token you control. Okay, I guess it's the squirrel general leader person. What else would it be? And then whenever a token enters battlefield under control, tap target non-land permanent and opponent controls. It doesn't untap during the next untap step, aka the ice effect. Pretty darn strong in a tribal deck that uses tokens, but I mean, this is still 7. You'd almost need like, I don't know, Universal Convoking or something. Next up, Seal of Cleansing. It's a 2-cost white enchantment, and sacrifice Seal of Cleansing, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Another one that you have to put it into play and then warn the people the whole time, hey, don't play your best one, play only decoys. But then they also, at the same time, hold their best card in hand because they don't want to lose it. So you get to play some cat and mouse mind games here with the this card and the other one. Next up, Quirion Ranger or something like that. Could be Chiron, could be Kiron or Kirion. Depends on language, and she doesn't look Latino. She looks Elven. So it's a 1/1 for 1 Elf Ranger. Return a forest you control to its owner's hand. Untap target creature. Activate this only once each turn. Boy, you could do an infinite landfall loop with that. I don't know what they were thinking with this. This would almost just go straight into my tap dance deck by itself. Next up, Desaprovar. That, of course, in Portuguese means Portuguese sucks. So it has Flash. It's a 2-cost blue enchantment, by the way. When it enters battlefield, draw a card, and then creatures lose all abilities. For 2, you're doing that? Oh my god. Oh, at the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice disapprove. Good. Otherwise, I would strongly disapprove of this card. So, I mean, I guess you're gonna, get rid of all triggered abilities, because that's an ability, get rid of all static abilities, which are keywords, and get rid of all, activated abilities, which are annoying. So, the turn you put this out, it's going away, because that would be the beginning of the next end step, and you can't really, I guess you could flash this in during your end step. Okay. But, yeah, I mean, I guess you take flying creatures and make them not flying. So, I mean, if they attacked and then you flash this in during their attack phase, oh, they're getting killed. This is a neat card. It's on color with my white-blue. I might maybe try and do some of this here. Put it in my deck, for example. Next up, it's finally Imperial Recruiter. After that one stupid card from, like, Time Spiral or Remastered or whatever, that was fake Imperial Recruiter, but looked just like him. So this is about a $30 or $40 card. I mean, this thing's no joke. It used to be a lot higher, actually. And, well, everything in Magic's crashing and dying because the game is crashing and dying because Wizards of the Coast. So if you're not familiar, it's a 3-cost 1/1, and when it enters battlefield, search your library for a creature card with power 2 or less, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. And it always fetches something degenerate that just happens to cost 2 or whatever. You can go get a suspend creature. I mean, there's just all kinds of really obnoxious stuff you can do with this guy. Well, at least you put it in your hand instead of into play. Next up, Galvanic Relay. It is a red sorcery, and you must exile the top card of your library. During your next turn, you may play that card, and then Storm. A Storm effect that doesn't do damage, and you have to wait till the next turn to use it. Are you kidding me? 1, they should have left Storm out of the set, and 2, this card's garbage. Next up, Tormod's Cryptkeeper. Oh boy, it's a 3-cost artifact creature golem, vigilance. Sack it and exile all cards from target player's graveyard because, of course, Tormod doesn't believe in graveyards. I think just about everybody who runs Tormod's Crypt was getting pretty darn sick of having to run a useless dead card that does nothing in their deck just to slow down other people's degenerate crap. Might as well at least make it a 3/2, although, I mean, who's running an artifact golem deck? But it's a 3-2 for 3. I mean, hey. Next up, we got Step Through. That artwork's pretty dope. It's a 5-cost sorcery. Return 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. And then Wizard Cycling 2, which I assume means pay 2, discard this, and then go, like, fetch a wizard out of your library. Which means it's not cycling, it's a tutor. It has actually nothing to do with cycling. Now, if cycling said pay 2, discard this card, go get literally any card out of your library and put it in your hand, then we would have, wizard cycling and planes cycling and land cycling and, that, okay, it would make sense. But why did they use the same name twice when they do 2 completely opposite things? It should have been called wizard tutoring. So anyway, yeah, a temporary bounce for 5, this is garbage. I mean, its sorcery speed is not even instant. This is complete trash. Next up, Arcbound Mouser, because we needed more Arcbound things in our lives. It's a white 0/0 for 1 cat with lifelink and modular 1. Okay, I thought it was going to be just Arcbound Ravager, but okay. Next up, we got a very powerful new upgraded version of Bone Splinters. It's Bone Shards. It's a 1-cost black sorcery, and as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature or discard a card. Okay. And then destroy target creature or planeswalker. Well, found the most expensive common in the set. Although those geniuses over at Card Kingdom have it at 25 cents, so that's a little pessimistic. Am I, like, forgetting about another better card than Bone Splinters? Because, I mean, this can kill a planeswalker. Also, you can just discard a card instead of sack a creature. I mean, this could be played in, like, Vintage and Legacy. This is a 1-cost kill spell, reliably. I mean, an argument could be made to run this instead of Dismember in some cases. So next up, we got Rift Sower. It's a 3-cost 1/3 Elf Druid. Tap it for any color mana. Cool. And then suspend 2 for 1. Yay. The general rule for mana generating creatures is if they cost more than 2, don't use them. But suspend 2 is kind of like it costing less than 2, except you don't get it when you need it. So this card is actually garbage for 2 reasons instead of just 1, which is very creative on their part. Next up, Glimpse of Tomorrow. Oh look, they found a picture of after the next US election. You got Joe Bidenville on the outside, probably Minneapolis, and then you've got less Democrats in control in the middle. Fantastic. They're doing such a great job. It's not like murder rates are up 800% in Minneapolis or anything. Defund the police. Oh shit, where'd all the police go? By the way, there's always that one guy. I'm unsubbing because you got political. No, you're unsubbing because you disagree with me because you're a delusional Oh, I don't want to hear the truth. I gotta run away like a little bitch. So anyway, this is another 0 mana value card. That's never problematic ever with, 100 other cards ever printed. And it has to spend 3 for 2 mana. So 3 turns from now, or whatever, depending upon if you count the current one, you can shuffle all permanents you own into your library, then reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Then put all non-aura permanent cards revealed this way onto the battlefield. And then after that, do the same for aura cards. I guess they really wanted to preserve auras. Then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I mean, I guess this would be kind of fun for, like, Constellation or some giant ETB thing, but it's complete luck, which means it's fun as shit for multiplayer Commander, but I wouldn't call this a good card. It's definitely an interesting card, and I like it. Let me just remind you, when it says shuffle all permanents you own into your library, then reveal that many, that includes tokens, which I guess would get shuffled into the library, but then instantly vaporized. They never truly hit the library. They go to the graveyard instead, but it doesn't matter because they were included in the count. I guess. I'm like 95% sure that's how it works. And you can get death triggers on everything that got sacked. So, I mean, you can get some stuff done with that thing. Next up, we've got another card that was leaked about 2 months ago. You're welcome. It's not going to happen with that god-awful, unreadable frame with white ink. Who thought white ink on a light gold background was a good idea? Seriously. I mean, you guys who are like, I like the look of it and I like them better. It's like, I miss the nostalgia of not having a vaccine or cure for tuberculosis. Things were so great in the 1800s. Like, what is actually wrong with you? You can't read the fucking card. So I'll just go by the official nickname in the lore. This is totally canon. This is Assy the Too Long named, so Assy for short, of course. So Assy here is a legendary creature, human wizard. As long as you've discarded a card this turn, you may pay hybrid black red to cast this spell. And it has a CMC of nothing, so interesting. Now, it is a 3/3, so I mean, that's not bad, but you had to lose a card. And I mean, maybe not, because, what if it had madness, but, whatever. By the way, she's cooking like that scorpion thing from the Thanksgiving promo card, I think. Something like that. This was from another card. So when Assie enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card named the Underworld Cookbook. Okay. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Sacrifice 2 foods. Target creature deals 6 damage to itself. Well, it's interesting. I mean, it'd be hard to get out. I don't like anything that I can't reliably get out because you can't just discard cards at will unless you hold above 7. Oh, and good luck casting this at instant speed during your end step. Or cleanup phase, or I don't remember when you discard the card. So finally, we've got the Underworld Cookbook, and this is where I'm leaving it for today. I guess a couple hours from now, I'll do the rest of the spoilers. So it's a 1-drop artifact. You can tap it, discard a card, create a food token. Okay, well, there you go. And if you pay 4, tap it, sacrifice the Underworld Cookbook, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Not, mind you, to the battlefield. Very stark difference between those two, power-wise. So far, don't we have that evoke incantation thing where you like return something from your graveyard to the battlefield for literally 0, and then this you pay 4, lose access to the Underworld Cookbook, and then all you get is a creature back from the graveyard to your hand. Drastically different power levels. Now this one, it puts the cards there in the first place, in theory, so that's actually kind of neat. I mean, you could use this as like a really weird food generator, so I mean, if that's your thing, if you're running a food deck, I don't know how you're pulling that off in Commander. Maybe you could get it done in Modern, but this will definitely help. I almost wonder if like the Wolf food deck like could be a thing with this card added in Modern. Could be like tier 1.5 or something, you know? I don't know, could be. So anyway, that's all the spoilers for this edition. Watch for some more spoiler videos today. I just didn't want this one to get too long and I've got work to do. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys next video.